Hello, everyone. This week, I decided it would be really fun to reach out once again to some of my very favorite Spanko celebrities to ask about their favorite implements. It's a tough question, I know. But first, we want to tell you about some of our favorite implements. So take it away, Daddy.
This is my trusty hairbrush. A good hairbrush is surprisingly hard to find. A lot of them are too light, and if they're too light, they just they snap, it stings. It's not what you want. You want a nice, strong, thuddy hairbrush. This has been my trusted hairbrush for a very long time. I absolutely love it. And the best thing about a hairbrush is I can put this in my hand luggage when I fly. Now, I can't get away. If I try to get paddles or anything, I get so many questions, but you can always get away with a hairbrush, so.
It doesn't raise any eyebrows at
No,
security.
You can always get away with a hairbrush in your hand luggage, so there is a good tip.
We have a funny story about a hairbrush, actually. A couple of years ago, we were on a road trip with Princess Kelley May and her fiance, Stephen Lewis. Kelly and Stephen brought with them on this road trip a hairbrush that was special because the back of it was full of like little metal balls.
Yeah, ball bearings.
You couldn't really hear them rolling around in the hairbrush, but they made it really heavy, really stingy, really deadly.
Great.
Somehow on this road trip, this hairbrush disappeared. And to this day, no one knows.
I think they think we stole it. We didn't steal it.
You know, I didn't steal it.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't steal it either. I have my trusty hairbrush, and that's good enough for me.
The implement I wanted to share with you guys is this strap. It's made by a vendor named Roscoe, who's in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
I will include a link to all of the amazing artisans and vendors who make these incredible implements in the descriptions to this video. But the reason I wanted to share this strap with you guys, first, this is just a really lovely implement. It's not too painful, it's not too stingy, it's got a nice thud. But something that I really love about straps in general, and especially this strap, is I always say its bark is worse than its bite. It leaves this really beautiful, loud crack of a sound, but it doesn't hurt nearly as much as the sound makes you think it would hurt. So you get like the nice psychological headspace of that huge, powerful crack. But actually it's a pretty comfortable implement to play with. I could go with this thing for hours.
It's a great sound, and it also makes really good redness. Like, it makes a super good mark.
But the other reason I wanted to share this implement is I have a really funny story about some of the crazy things that happen in our lives as Spankos. Years ago, when I was living in Manhattan, I had a friend, a really good friend, visiting me from out of town. And she brought her toddler with her. He was like 3 or 4 years old at the time. And I was sitting on my bed talking to this friend while her toddler, crawled around on the floor exploring. And he found this strap under my bed. So this little kid, this tiny little child, who probably was, the same size as this strap at the time, stood up and was like, "What's this?" So his mom just, cracked up laughing. Meanwhile, I was freaking out, and I was like, it's a cat toy. So for the rest of the night, he was walking around waving the strap at my little cat like this, going, "Here, kitty, 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 here, kitty, kitty."
Great spanky implement, bad cat toy.
Exactly. So with that, let's kick it over to some of our friends to learn more about their favorite implements. I hope you enjoy.
Hello, I'm Ariel Anderson, and I'm going to show you my favourite implement. I like a lot of spanking implements. In fact, there are very few I don't like, but my favourite beyond all, belts. Now, not just like any old belts. It has to be a man's belt, and it has to be a specific man's belt. And I like it if he takes it off, especially in order to use it. I do not know why, except I guess that I'm aggressively heterosexual, I suppose. So in my head, all dominants are men, and this feels like quite a good symbol of masculinity. I don't wear belts at all. I guess some women do, I really, really don't. And then, therefore, as a result, this feels like this symbol of masculinity. And it also, I love it when men take off their belt. I go, a little peculiar at airports in security when they make people take off their belts. I like the way it feels. I like leather implements generally, and I find that my tolerance for this kind of pain is very high. So some of the harder scenes I've done have been with belts, and so I have a really positive association with them. I like the marks, I like the sound, I like how they smell. But most of all, I like them psychologically. It feels like a very kind of adult implement. It doesn't really feel like a sort of age play type, school type implement. It feels like the kind of implement that would be used on a disobedient wife. Speaking of which, I've just borrowed Howell's belt. He's my husband. I've not asked him. I'm just putting it in a movie without his permission. But that is my favourite thing. Has to be leather, has to actually belong to the man in question. I have to really like the man, and he has to take it off in a dominant way. And yeah, he just has to do all those things because I'm a very demanding submissive. Thanks for listening.
Hi, it's Erica Scott. I like leather. I prefer leather over wood. I like a heavy smack rather than a heavy thud. It's like snap versus clunk. With that in mind, I like this a lot. This is possibly the first implement I ever got, and it's kind of an homage to the company that got me started in all of this, Shadow Lane. This paddle is really neat. It's light, but it packs a wallop if you want, and you can use it OTK, or you can hit one cheek at a time, standing up with somebody bent over. I've worn it out a lot. I guess I could have it re-sewn, but I'm not sure who could do that. I don't feel like going into a shoe store and saying, hey, would you fix my paddle? Anyway, they don't make these anymore. They discontinued them a while back. However, any kind of flexible leather paddle or short leather strap will be just as good. There are companies like London Tanner, Caniac. They all make short straps and paddles. For example, this is Caniac's OTK strap, and it's just as flexible and just as smacky and just as versatile. You can use it OTK or swinging with somebody bent over. The only thing that you want to avoid with leather, and a leather paddle especially, don't get the paddles that have a reinforcing bar through the middle, because that's a stiffener and that sucks. That makes the paddle hard and stiff and unyielding, and it's tricky. I mean, they say, oh, it's leather, it's not going to hurt you. No, like hell it isn't. Make sure if you like the snap rather than the thud, make it flexible. Okay? All right, everybody stay well, play safe. Bye.
I loved watching all of these videos, and I just love, seeing their faces and hearing their stories and learning about their favorite implements. These days are so lonely, and it's so hard for the Spanko community to feel connected. So just, seeing videos, even if that's all we've got, I'm super grateful. And I hope you guys are enjoying these videos as much as we are. But that's not all. There's more Spanko celebrities and more implement videos coming next time. So I hope you all will stay tuned. And in the meantime, please go into the comment section and tell us about your favorite implements, because there's probably some really cool stuff out there that we haven't played with yet. So give us your tips, and we'll see you next time. Bye.